Hi, it's Hazel, and welcome to my channel. I believe it is day 26 of the 100-day project, and I am tickled pink to be here because I think this is a brilliant idea. I haven't seen it anywhere else, but I'm not going to take credit for having invented it either. I just know that I haven't seen it anywhere. So, let's begin. Yesterday, when I was procrastinating and wondering, oh dear, what am I going to do next? I started cleaning out a desk drawer. And in it, I found a number of these folders, covers, whatever the terminology is. And of course, you can tell that this one is a more modern one because it's pretty plain Jane. And these, of course, were received when you had studio photos taken. Now, I must have gotten this somewhere along the way. It's from somebody had written 1946 on it. And you can see it is pretty gigantic. It's about 13.5 inches tall. So I had some others, and I thought, well, okay. I thought that it could lend itself to being a really nice, well, let me get this out of the way, a really nice base for a beautiful, I don't even know what you call this. What is this, a folio? Okay, so what I did, and not that dimensions should matter to you, because if you choose to do this, it will depend on what you have at your disposal. But just for a reference point, this is 7.25 tall and 10.5 long. So, of course, it had the guts inside, and I took that apart. Now, these people were actually relatives. It was a wedding photo. I would guess that, oh, geez, I don't know. Perhaps they got married in the 50s. Anyway, so basically what I did is I took, and I also have to say, and maybe this project will have converted me, is that I typically don't use digital journal kits. Like, I like the ephemera, I like the background papers, but I guess I always thought that, well, if you use a kit, like if you use every single piece out of the kit, like, where is my personality? Where is my decision making? Where do I show through in all of this? Anyway, this, and I've misplaced the paper now. It's from Chapter 1 Papers, and it's the Damask Rose Kit, and I love it. And I'm not sure how well this shows up, or maybe if I lift it. You can see how on these flowers that it looks like, it looks like fabric. So that alone kind of sold me on it. Anyway, so what I did first was the frame, this whole picture frame thing was kind of this creamy color. So I thought, well, let's leave it with a bit of it showing. So I had prepped the kit by, tearing off all the white, the white border, inking. There weren't that many pieces to fussy cut, but I fussy cut what there was. And then I began covering this. So this was a single piece of paper, and it's gorgeous. This is another piece of paper. Maybe not my favorite in the kit, but perfectly adequate for the back. Of course, covering this triangular shape was a little bit harder, and you can see it's got these notches. Because, of course, These frames were meant to, well, they folded to protect the photo if you were storing it, but then they became an easel if you wanted to stand it up. So anyway, I did that. The paper wasn't quite wide enough, so I used a border here. Okay, let's flip this baby open. This is another piece of paper. This was one of 3 journaling cards or whatever that I backed and turned into a pocket. There were 2 different variations of this in the kit that were kind of, you know, spaced together, I believe, to become a little booklet cover. So what I did was using a 3-hole pamphlet stitch, I put in some of the cut-offs, or I cut off some pieces, I guess, to fit, also from the kit. And anything that was white, I stenciled. And I used Ranger Shadow Gray. I probably used Gathered Twig, Tattered Rose, and Worn Lipstick. So, okay, so stenciling, paper, little fold back here. More stenciling, more, you know, because again, why tear it off if you can just fold it and make it, you know, either it could be glued there for a pocket or just more paper to write on. So I thought that was really cool too. Now, because this cover part is just on regular coffee paper, you kind of have to be a bit careful when inserting it so as not to bend the corners. Okay, so then over here, the pages, because I've said that this is 10.5 inches wide or something. That, of course, isn't really enough. None of the pages are big enough to really be used as is. So you'll see that I hinged some. Now, the other thing to point out, I guess, here is that is not a very big spine. So I made it my business to just, I think, put in 3 pieces of paper. Because I'm thinking, you know, there will be things added. So if you put something under this belly band, that will add a bit of bulk, and elsewhere. So I thought something that is gorgeous and stays closed is probably, excuse me, better than something that is, you know, bulgy. So again, this was white, so I stenciled. Now you can see that I've used part of some of the pages that I tore. Let me just show you what is left of this kit. Okay, so then, well, we'll come to the envelopes in a bit, but so these are the little bitty pieces. That's one of the pages. Those are those 3 things I told you about there, those little booklet covers. More little stuff to cut out. And so, for instance, on this page, I tore all the borders off and use that to fill a gap on the front cover. So again, just look at those flowers. You can see the weave in the cloth. You know, sort of a collage type page, backing paper. Another. So that was that. Anyway, some of those edges that I cut off, I used to make the hinges. So I didn't, you know, fold anything up to become a pocket at the bottom, which I suppose I could have. I stencil here. I sort of staggered. I hinged 2 papers together. There's part of a hinge showing there. And that is it. On this back cover, I covered it with a piece of paper. I used one of those 3 tags, I guess. Made up the 2 envelopes. and stuck that in this pocket. So here is what the other side of that flap looks like, or the closure, which I think is really nice. I added a eyelet and did a little more decorating on this piece, excuse me, because of course it is, you know, the first thing you sort of see. Bit of lace, there's a bit of that, this thing, some of those little pieces, you know, and I think it looks great. And obviously I forgot to look for seam binding or something. It'll just be a wrap and tie closure. So that, and you know, at the risk of scaring you, I think I will not tell you how many hours this took. Now, I guess that if you've been crafting for more than about, 3 minutes, you probably know that everything takes longer than you think it should. It doesn't happen all in 30 minutes like those home reno shows. So, I'm so sorry. So then what I thought, well, okay, I can tell you this, and maybe that in itself is adequate enough for a video. But then I thought, well, maybe I should start a second one and show you what I was going to do with it. So I'll move this aside. Now the second one is smaller. So, okay, tell you my thinking here. So you can see that this one is much older. It's kind of beat up, which is, obviously what we like. And it's a sort of a silvery gray. I might have told you, or intended to tell you, that I have a lot of piano roll paper now. So I thought, got one sitting on my desk here. Why don't I use it? So instead of using a digital on this one, I just covered all the surfaces with piano paper. And then I'm thinking, well, I didn't go through all of that to then cover it all up. This one, I also thought that the this top mat kind of has an Art Deco-y look to it. And I believe, well, this is the town near I live. The town near which anyway, you get it. I live near there. I believe that this was a photo studio in the 30s, if I sort of remember the history book I helped write. So I'm thinking, okay, why don't I use this as part of the decor? To decorate the cover. At first, I toyed with the idea of leaving the top open and letting, it be a pocket and people could slip things in and out. And then I thought, no, I don't think so. Again, I wanted to preserve the piano paper. So what I did was and I hope you can't see that, but I made tiny little pencil marks in the corners so I would know what surface I'm working with. I then put together, where did this come from? Oh, the other thing I did, I had all these scraps. This is, obviously part of what took time today. So I basically grouped them together. Like they were just in a kind of a box. So mushrooms, mauves, pinks, garden fairies. These are Rachel tags, freebies, I think. Blues, kids, sort of the yellowy colors. I had something like this with just scrapbooking paper. Some document type things. This is part of a digital, I don't remember whose it was, stained glass. These were, oh, a couple birds, here are a couple token birds. And these were cut-offs from the, I don't know what this is. Anyway, these are cut-offs from the video that I did quite a while ago about making book boards. And they came from those oversized Walter Foster art books. Anyway, so I put all that aside. I mean, I sorted it roughly. You saw how. And then I thought, well, I've got some script from the kit I used on the other frame. There was this postcard. I fussy cut that lady. So if I line up my marks, you can see if I position her just right, she will look quite lovely there. And so will the piano paper. Oh, and I know that I have to have her over to the side a bit. Otherwise, the flap is going to smack her in the face. And that wouldn't be a good look. So, roughly like so. And of course, just because, you know, the sun is going down and I've been at this for days, it seems, I didn't yet cover the two flaps, but I'll show you the other plan so far. And you'll just have to probably envision this. So that's how that is going to look. Now, whether when I'm kind of giving it the final once over, if I decide that, you know, I want to add something more, then I certainly will. But that's the plan at this moment. So let's put that out of the way. So then here, I also had a bunch of these ladies. And again, I'm so sorry. I really now, from now as I buy kits, I am paying better attention, separating them, labeling. These women were, you know, came in this kit. And I printed them on heavier paper, so they... Anyway, long story short, I picked this gal because this gray that is coming through, the holes and the blue seem to go best with this color scheme. So my intention here, and why don't I just do that? Oh, I should show you that on this frame, not on the other one, but on this frame, there was a hole right through for the point of this thing to go through when it is in the standing position. So what I did was I just, you know, gluing layers of paper together kind of filled the gap so that it would, so there wouldn't be a hole there. But let me, I'll put this down on its side. And I haven't, I don't think I've inked anything here yet. Or maybe just a bit on the cover. So I'm going to glue it on 3 sides so the pocket will, because there's plenty of space here. You can see that, you know, it's not that much of a potential spine. But certainly, you know, I think if I pick some papers and go with 3 sheets, then I should be safe. Again, I didn't want to cover every single thing here with something, because then it covers up some of the best parts of the... I did think, though, that I would put this here. So I fussy cut this out of the scrapbook paper. You can still see the blue. You can still see the holes. I could do that with a glue stick. And this, of course, then becomes a journaling spot, sort of built right in. And again, at some point, I may decide, well, That looks a bit plain Jane. Why don't I add something that, you know, maybe some red or something that would pick up what is already on the page with that pocket. So again, that could very well come. Now, the other thing that I'm noticing since I'm doing this 100-day thing is that I do a lot of prep, I gather a lot of stuff, I either make a prototype or I do something with you, and then, you know, there's never obviously enough time to complete anything fully. So then what I end up doing is I turn off the camera and I'm thinking, okay, am I going to put this stuff away half done? That seems kind of not so smart. So then I take time to finish it, which means that, like, I'm just a crafting machine. But, you know, and then of course I have to clean up after one thing and then make another mess with the next thing that's coming up. So I don't know. I think that when this is all said and done, I will obviously have a lot of stuff. I think most of it will be complete and ready to do something with. Maybe I should give a little dab here yet. But yeah, it's definitely a different way of working than I'm used to. You know, psychologists and social scientists, sociologists and people like that say that it takes 21 days of doing something to create a lasting habit. So by the time a person has done 100 days, either I will be a total rebel who thinks I'm never following another rule again, damn it, or I will have built such incredible work habits that I'll just be a blur. Okay, on this page, now, oops, cover this up. These cute little frames are a Shabby Dabby, or a Tina from Shabby Dabby Doodah kit. And I, of course, fussy cut a lot of them. Just for the heck of it, I'll show you another piece of it. Probably, for the most part, the same frames, but some of them have little images in them. I preferred the empty ones, and of course I don't have these cut out, so that's another reason that I didn't use them. I believe that this was Pam at the Paper Outpost Digital, because I've got it in yet a third size, and that's sort of how she gives her freebies, you know, the same image in, you know, several sizes. So my plan here, I didn't want to waste this paper. It wasn't big enough to cover the whole surface, so I ended up patching here, which is nice because I got to use those numbers. So what I intend to do is put this here, and I'm just going to use glue stick. Let's hope I remember my plan by the time I have all the pieces in place. I better not try to get that, bend that the wrong way. Okay, so again, this is nice. It's floral. It's got some color, but the background color is almost a perfect match to the piano paper. So I guess that in this case, I'm really letting that first decision to use the piano paper really drive the whole design. So basically, I'm putting this down here, trying to square it up, get it down. Then I Okay, what do I have here? I was also going to use this over here. You know how on murder shows, how they do a chalk outline? I should have done a chalk outline around these elements, and then I'd know exactly where I intended to put them. I know, people say take a photo. That wouldn't really help me much, since my phone is my recording device. Anyway, I know that I wanted to fill this gap and sort of disguise that seam. And again, if I've, changed the layout slightly, whoops, that doesn't matter because I can just add more elements. So this gal, I fussy cut her out of something. I can't remember whose wife she is. That straight line at the bottom makes me think I want to ground her on the page. And I probably want her shoulder to cover that corner. That's sort of the thought process. This gal, I was just, oh, you know what? This is probably too far over. Well, it's probably too late to lift it. Then again, no, it isn't. Yes, I did want to cover that area, but I also wanted there to be more of a connection, reglue, more of a connection between these two floral elements. So let's just quickly do this. That head of that woman, or that bust, or whatever you call it, is going to help with the, the sort of the, whoops, let's not put it down upside down. I can't pull it up 3 times. That would really be pushing my luck. Okay, I'm going to put that about yay. This gal is going to go over here. I'm going to have a frame over here. That almost seems... Okay, I think I had this little skinny one up here. I had this like this. Oh, I had a frame behind her, so it almost looks like she's... Whoops, let's have the brass plate at the bottom. So something like so. I guess I'll put this one here. And this maybe was just up here somewhere. I don't even remember that anymore. Okay, let's do what we are sure of. I know this must go here to cover that boo-boo. This too has a brass plate, so we want to make sure it goes down. And again, this is just sort of decorating the substrate here. This will be covered. Now, I guess, obviously, I'm not going to be putting a pocket over this now and covering up all this hard work, this design work. So on this back cover, that will be that'll be it for decorating. But like I said, I will at some point prepare a signature using 3 pages. I will also hand sew that in. Okay, I wanted this to sort of connect those two. So if I put it about 1/4 of an inch below that slot, that should be perfect. I am doing this taping Easter weekend. I said 1/4 of an inch below there. And so even though you won't hear it in time, I'm wishing you good vibes. I suppose I could just have these two frames overlap in that way, because that will look kind of cool too. But why did I think that that was going to be... Oh, wrong. Damn. So much for making her head look like it fits in the frame. That's the slot I should have been under, not that one. Well, now it looks like she's sitting beside a piece of art. I could do that, but that looks kind of goofy. Chalk outlines it is. Now that I look at it, if you've watched some of my videos before, you know that I like to talk about visual weight. All the visual weight is at this corner, and this poor gal is trying to balance it all by herself. I might have to... Where's my yellow bunch of papers? See, there's also this in-between size. Is this going to help save the day? I could have that bleed off the page. What does that really help, though? Okay, what I should have done, and it's probably too late. Yeah, that glue, you can lift it sometimes when it's still a little bit fresh. Oh. Looky there. Okay, what happens if I put a frame behind her? That helps balance some of that. Okay, let's do it. Okay, so I am going to have this about there. Now I have to re-glue her head. It's not often you get to say that in a day, let me tell you. Get to rub her face. Oh, I must have had some glue on me. Boy, does that not happen in every video where I'm having to use my little tool? If you haven't invested $1.50 in this yet, rush out and get one. I have seen them at Dollar Tree. Okay, now I still feel bad about this. Maybe I can do the same thing here. See, this isn't working as well. Can you see how it's separating? Because it's just copy paper, whereas this was book page. Book paper. Okay, get a grip, woman. Adapt, adapt, adapt. Now let me glue that down these corners that I've been putzing with. And now that our glitter glue has entered the fray, for sure it's not going anywhere. Okie dokie. So this gal is going here. She is going to cover that corner with her shoulder. But what am I doing with these things? Did I lose a frame in the process? 1, 2, 3, 4. But I had 5 going here. Maybe not. Okay. Or do I use another small one? This time have the frame like so. No, like so. Partly behind her head. And everything is connected. That's the plan. Okay. So, need to do this in the right order. This first. So, roughly 1 inch over and 3/8 of an inch down. And don't put it on upside down. See, it's very important as a crafter that you encourage yourself with positive self-talk. Okay, what did I say? 1 inch over and 3/8 of an inch down. And don't do it upside down. Cool. Now, the frame goes next because her head is going to be, I'm going to have that, touch that. Maybe even have the 2 edges line up. Aha. 2 edges line up. Cool. Slap this gal down. Maybe I should bring it up a hair since nothing else is really touching the edge. Okay, I'll use art glitter glue for that. And then, like I said, if I have at some point decide that, oh, I must have a label or a sentiment or something, that can certainly happen. I will, at a future date, well, I mean, not on camera, be covering up the flap on both sides. Oh, I have a plan for the back cover. I better check the time and see how long I've kept you. And where are the pieces that I pinned together? These are the ones. Okay, let me check the time. And, Oh, we're at 40 minutes almost. Guess that's not too bad. Okay, so that is that. There will be a signature with about 3 pages going in here. This will be covered and decorated likewise with that. You know what the plan is for the front. So on the back, again, because I don't like wasting stuff, I pieced together some scraps of piano paper. So what I thought here, since I seem to have this woman thing going on, is this how it was? Oh yeah, see, this was like this, and this is a shabby dabby doodah thing too. So I kind of thought, well, again, the colors work perfectly. Why don't I just sort of stagger them a bit like so? So why don't I do that? And then to show you my plan. It involves more women. Okay, so roughly, I want those holes to show there. I hope that that if you haven't already started your 100-day project of some sort, and again, it's, you know, it doesn't have to be crafting whatsoever. It could be, you know, it could be anything you choose. But anyway, if you have, there is, you know, again, because there aren't any rule of any sort, you can start on day 25 or day 26, or I think if you start on day 93, that may not qualify. But hey, maybe with a doctor's note you'd get away with it. God, I get this so gobbed up with glue. Yeah, I think, you know, let's see some doctor's notes. And do I really care if these 3 are not totally lined up, you know, top to bottom? No. And in fact, it's easier if I choose not to. And then I'll just sort of split the difference here. And then we can get on to adding the women. I think I managed to dip this into glue too. And again, it's basically just to add a bit of background interest, not cover up, although on this side it's pretty hard to tell what it was, that it was anything special. Oh, that side is still dry. Okay, good. Now, let's see if I can remember what I was doing here. I think I had this gal over here, this one in the center, because she's sort of the biggest and the, you know, not the brightest, but the has the most color. And then I think I had that sort of like that. And again, sometimes they're touching, sometimes they're not. And so that is what I'm going to do. So maybe I'll get that girl in the middle done first. And you can see that this came out of a book of some sort. I see that on the back of it I wrote 1833. That was the date of the painting. The thing with ovals, a little harder to sort of position sometimes, because, you know, she could, well, I guess that would be obvious. Now you see that design decision to have these two gals that are not looking straight ahead to be looking inward, as opposed to putting this one here and she's looking who knows where, and this one is looking off into the distance over there. That's not what we want. We want their attention focused here. So I think I will have this just kissing that one, and then have this one overlap. So let's do it. Do it, do it, do it. I have to say that the one of the downsides of doing the 100-day project is that because I'm so intent on doing this, I'm falling behind in my own video watching. Normally I would watch, several videos a day as I'm going about my business, whether that's, eating breakfast or working in the studio, doing my own thing. One thing I watched, well, not today, over a couple of days, is, I think it was Taiwanese, a Netflix series, 10-parter, called Copycat Killer. And yes, there were subtitles, but of course you can't craft and read subtitles. But there was English voiceover too, so that was good. But then I like those kinds of shows. It was about a serial killer. Maybe I'll just let these two almost touch. Bring this down a bit, and then she can. And at that point, I'll sign off because, again, I've been here for days, it seems. For some reason, this woman's look kind of fascinates me. And this one is very young, whoever she is. So again, there is the opportunity, because of the spaces that are being left, to add something more if I so choose. One of the things, oh, I know what it was. Okay, you probably saw Tina's brilliant idea for the cluster books. I mean, it's genius. And I did make one kind of that very night and just did, well, very little in it. Maybe I'll steal that for one of the ideas for one of the days. Anyway, the thing that she mentioned and that I had not been aware of is that she had a freebie with tiny little fussy cut, tiny little things to fussy cut, like so. And these are the bigger ones. Here are the tiny ones. So now the colors are pretty bright, but maybe there's something, which is the top here. Maybe there's something in the right color and the right size. Well, I guess we can look at this and get an idea. There are crowns and butterflies and boots and whatnot, little tiny tags, little frames. So I think that might end up working its way into this project as well. So thanks, Tina. Whoops, I lost something. Okay. I thank you for joining me If you have not yet subscribed, I hope that you choose to. Let's end on this lovely note, because I think this is a gorgeous project. And yeah, I think this has made a believer out of me for the value of using kits. Probably end up putting something on the back, because with a project like this, you know, whatever you put on the outside sort of doesn't add to the bulk. I mean, it would probably just be something simple like a pocket or two or whatever. But anyway, thanks so much for joining me. I hope you choose to subscribe, like, comment, share. I hope that you begin your own project, and I hope you have a wonderful day, night, morning, evening, whatever it is, wherever you are. And we'll see you tomorrow. Thanks. Bye.